The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm Harvey Freed. Alongside of me, my whole panel this morning. We got Alex Nafusi across the way.
Hey, buddy. What's up, man? Good morning.
Good to have you back, Alex.
Good to have you back, bud.
Mr. Harry Glanz over to my right there. Hey,
Good morning,
Harry.
guys. Hey, listen, I like how Jeff Lesson says Tiger Woods shot whatever he shot 7 under on a resort course.
It's exhibition golf.
For,
That
right?
was his best analogy ever.
Yeah, that's code for, it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't. It's here. It's
It
you and
does.
I hanging out and playing golf.
It
wherever.
does. It
He's
means
not a
something.
big
It means he's
TW
7
fan.
under.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
It was funny. He's complaining about how the balls now they fly too far. When he was out, Jeff, about
fly
like
too
40
far.
yards. There was never a problem. But now that everybody works out constantly, and everyone's in the ball as far as him, now it's a problem.
Now it's a
I
problem.
got to get those.
Hey, we got James Lutzen also from our office. Hey, James, what's going on? Thanks for joining us this morning. You brought in Charles Tamu from the Keller Williams Lakeside office. Charles, thanks for joining us. Awesome to have you here.
Oh, yeah, I'm here to have a good time with you guys.
All righty. Of course,
How you
going to
feeling
share.
this morning? You all right?
Yeah,
All right,
recovering.
Good. Just checking on you, man.
He's got my attire on. He looks
I was
good.
gonna
He's
say,
going
he's
to go
all-
do some listings. He's going to talk to some sellers.
He's all suited up.
I just
man.
rented the suit off a guy in the street.
Oh,
Walking
boy,
in.
man.
Yeah, well,
was that like a BOGO action from Men's
You're a
Warehouse?
realtor.
Guy took $25, gave me a suit. Got to give it back
Perfect,
to him as
man.
soon as I leave.
Nice.
Well, you look nice anyways,
you do
and I
look nice.
appreciate that. Hey, if you're out there and you want to give us a phone call, we take your calls all up till 10 o'clock here, all about mortgages and real estate. 903 if you're just joining us. You know, it's the winter time, but one of the things, and we're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff about mortgages and real estate, and Charles, I think you'll jump on this one, is as much in the past as we felt like things would totally slow down in the wintertime because we're Michiganders and the weather turns and people don't want to move and, do all the moving through the winter and stuff. But the weather's been great. And here in Michigan, we're having milder winters. I don't think home buying season stops at all anymore. I don't think it's seasonal.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, it slow down? It slows down a bit. It goes down, depending on what city you live in the metro area, but it goes down to about 2/3 of what it is in the summer.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it if you got a great house out there and you put that on the
By any
market.
means.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but how many people are moving in the wintertime? So if you're listing your house and you're 2/3 of what the market is in the summer, but you've got only half the buyers out there, you're more than likely going to get what you want in your house.
Yeah, we talked about that, how all the buyers
Yeah.
out there, they're not
That's a
tire
great point.
kickers.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And, the data shows it. I sit down with clients all the time when I go to list a house, and I'll pull up my computer. I take it with me to every appointment, and I'll show them, hey, look, I know you're worried about December, January, February, but why don't we go ahead and pull up your zip code? Let's pull up the criteria of your home, and let me show you what the metric says about what happened in this time of year last year.
Even if you have your home listed, I was going to say here, even if you have your home listed and you get an accepted offer or, and there's an offer on the table, you don't have to accept it.
Well, if your house is in good shape, it's going to sell. It doesn't matter what time of year it is.
Absolutely.
If it's a quality listing, house is in good shape, shows well, and people walk in, they're going to
So
tell
there's
right
not a
away.
lack of inventory?
Right, and that's what's lack of quality inventory on the market, Alex, and we know right now that our buddy Charles is going to go out. He's going to list 2 houses today. I'm sure they're in great shape. I'm sure they're going to sell, and that's what happens no matter any time of year. So yes, in Michigan, not in other parts of the country. Other parts of the country, the Southwest, the West Coast, Southeast, it's not winter time like it is here. So there's brisk activity, brisk sales in those areas. But here it's the wintertime. That's only natural that things are going to slow down. But relatively speaking, it has not slowed down. It has not slowed down. Easy for me to say this morning. In our area, it's still going gangbusters. And the area that he's talking about listing homes in Troy and in Berkeley area, it's still very, very hot. And what's going to happen is quality homes are going to sell no matter what time of year.
Yeah, and there might be some additional opportunities out there. Of course, we do mortgages all across the United States, and we have many clients calling now and taking advantage of some of the opportunities up north. Of course, everyone wants to buy up there in the springtime, but now could be a time if you're looking at more of a second home or a vacation up north property. Now has been an unbelievable time, and so often I'll get those phone calls in the wintertime, and this is where you might be able to save 5 to 10% off that purchase price, and of course, there's less competition out there. And we also see that here with a lot of our clients that are buying homes, second homes in retirement states, such as your Arizonas, your Californias, your Floridas, and other parts of the country.
Yeah, that business right now is very brisk as well. And, the rates are very low. You can get a good price on a house in a vacation area. And they're very, very popular. Listen, the population is getting older right now. Baby boomers are getting older, and they want a second home, or they're looking to retire, and they're making plans right now to do it. We do loans in all 50 states, so that helps our client base. And, we can do a loan wherever you want us to do a loan. I mean, you've seen the commercials. We do loans everywhere.
We do loans everywhere.
And we actually do the loan. There's an attorney.
I do see a lot of those commercials, but they're constantly now.
Yeah, they're
always
I know, it's
always
crazy.
on Sports Center. I'm like trying to zone out, and then I see Harry and Dan on the commercial.
So there are a lot of commercials out there, and I really like. There's an attorney out there who advertises a lot, and he comes on and he says, "I'm not just a TV attorney. I actually go to court. I'll litigate." I really like that because we're just not TV mortgage bankers. There are those out there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But we actually write loans, meet with clients, we run our business. We just don't show up to do TV commercials. I'm pretty proud of that. Been doing that for a very, very long time.
I like the ones that just the people that just steal the things that we say, like on the show, and they legit
they say
sort
imitation.
of a compliment, but
they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah.
I just think it's weak. But that's just me. I'm in a good mood, and Mike, guess what?
You are in a good mood.
You guys are all in big trouble. My voice is actually starting to come back.
You do sound better, man.
It took a 2-year hiatus, but it's coming back just slowly but surely, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, you beat that. You beat that that thing you went through badly, man.
I don't know if you really beat it. It's just I'm very happy right now.
You did a good job, buddy.
Good for you. Hey, we want to hear from you. If you'd like to join the show, come and give us a call, 248-539-9797. Always here live in the studio. Always at Capital Mortgage, all week long, all day long, today and all weekend long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. There's a true difference between having a real approval letter and dealing with the professionals. Nothing's better than dealing with the experienced loan officers that we have at Capital Mortgage Funding. That's the key. Find out if you qualify without selling your house or if you have to sell your house. There's a lot of nuances and things that you need to get in tune with if you're out there purchasing a home. And again, your real estate agent will definitely appreciate it if you're all pre-approved the right way and you're able to purchase and close on a house. And one of the things, Charles, I want to bring up is just looking at some of the information out there. I couldn't believe this, but actually 5 years ago, the median time that a house was on the market for was 11 weeks. Boy, that is definitely being cut.
What is it now?
Oh, it's like 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It is, and this is throughout the nationwide. And, of course, Charles, as you know, if your home is beautiful, if it's been prepped, if it's ready to sell, and you're going to go to a couple of those today if you got a couple listing appointments, you might even give a couple of pointers out to these folks that are selling their house. That way they're going to get top dollar for their house, and that's why a top-notch agent like you needs to go and check it out and really put a plan together for these people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's actually gone down. November was less than 3 weeks.
Oh, good.
And that's for the whole Detroit metro area. But, I mean, there's a lot of good advice I can give people. Obviously, pricing properly from the start, that's super important. So you want to be priced right. Sometimes that means pricing it high. Sometimes that means pricing it slightly lower. You really got to base it off your micro market. So just because you're in the Detroit metro area, it doesn't mean that you're going to be, or for instance, let's say you're in Troy. One part of Troy might not be the same as another part of Troy. You get what I'm saying? So
There's a huge difference in Troy.
It's a huge difference, and it's like that across the board. I mean, I know you're from Berkeley. That's a little bit smaller of an area. I mean, yeah, but
it's the same thing in Berkeley. You go. I mean, the east side versus west side. I mean, you go. I mean, north of 12, south of 12. There's a huge swing. Even every city has that same thing. Even here,
every county for them.
I mean, even take a high priced area like Birmingham. I mean, are you east of Woodward or west of Woodward? I mean, there's a huge swing there. I mean, are you looking at Shane Park? Are you across from the Townsend? I mean, that's going to be you're going to pay a huge amount to live right there versus some other spots. I mean, everything's it's all logistics.
Charles, I like what you actually threw out there. You said, sometimes pricing a house maybe on the lower side might actually create something. It creates a bidding war.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. So especially if, for instance, he's in Berkeley. Okay, well, Berkeley's a very, very hot area. If there's nothing on the market right now where you've got very few competition and you price something lower, I mean, I showed a house in Berkeley yesterday. We're going to go above asking on it.
Right. You don't want to miss out on that opportunity.
And the reason being is because when we pulled up there's a family seeing it. When we pulled out, there's a family walking into it. So I mean, you're looking in this area. I mean, you gotta move quick.
You gotta be ready to move quick and get that approval letter. Be sure to keep it here all morning long. We've got tons to share with you. Again, this is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 946. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our
Favorite
17
hour
plus
of the
year.
week.
Alex's favorite hour of the work. Hey, we take all your calls, 248-539.
10 hours.
9797. Nice, Harry.
I'm well compensated. Thank you.
Hey, we got jam-packed sports here. Keep it on 97.1 all day. By the way, the Pistons are doing some awesome work down at the new Little Caesars Arena. Of course, the Red Wings getting
Went to the
back
game
on track.
last night. Went to the Piston game last night.
Cool stuff.
It was great.
A lot of cool vibe things going on here in Southeast Michigan. There's no doubt about that. Caitlin, we already corrected you. You're all good. We know Caitlin does real estate all over Michigan, the whole state.
She's amazing. She
Caitlin,
really is.
Speaking, that comes from a guy who's used to being corrected every day.
Oh, thank
of the
you,
week.
guys.
I'm okay with
It's
it.
okay.
I have baby brain. I'm actually expecting my first child, so I'm
Beautiful.
having a great
There we go. That's a
good.
great excuse, by the way, but you're fine. And, Laura, you got a couple great open houses coming up if you wanted to drop a little information on those.
Absolutely. Sunday, 12 to 2. One is in Poppleton Park, 937 Henley, beautifully restored. Oh, yeah. New,
It absolutely is.
It definitely is. A Tudor.
Old
Just
English
gorgeous.
Tudor?
I can't say anything better about it. And
How
the
many
other
square
one,
feet- how many square feet is
it's
it?
26, almost 2,700 square feet.
Like it.
Top to bottom. Absolutely gorgeous on a double lot in Poppleton.
Wow.
12 to 2 on Sunday. And then the other one is in Bloomfield Township. That's 4344 Sunningdale. It's what everybody wants. It's a ranch with a lower level walkout.
Oh, wow.
Priced under $5. So
Nice.
Oh, I
it's-
know the street.
It's outstanding. Come and see them.
Those are two great listings. I didn't think
Yeah.
I didn't even know what you were going to say, but those are two great opportunities
Thank you.
for families out there. Again, you can always call Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll hook you up with these great ladies and make sure you get that approval letter in your hand. Then you can go out and make a great offer on the house. Again, so many opportunities out there if you're still trying to buy a house. We talked about it, and it sort of becomes the conversation here. Is there good inventory? Is there bad inventory? Your expectations change. It's always a fun conversation to have. But again, where there's an opportunity, there might be an opportunity for you. If you don't love the house, again, maybe you could buy it for all the right reasons and potentially maybe sell it, and maybe there's some down the road where you're going to profit from it in some capacity. There's not a ton of brand new inventory. They're starting to build a whole bunch,
Yes.
and you've got a couple of the projects going on, including those condominiums in Northville. So a couple of really cool things. You got the Birmingham, you got the Bloomfield Township, and some action in Northville and
you
all
know,
across
I love
Southeast
that
Michigan.
Poppleton listing.
you
Double
know-
lot on Poppletons.
Yeah, that's
our-
really
It's
hot.
really gorgeous.
That's not
It
cheap.
is.
Yeah, you know,
It's
how
drop
there's
dead.
a saying out there that you can control only what you can control, and what we can't control are interest rates. Mortgage rates have been low for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Right now, we're going to see the Fed meeting in December. Certain
They're going to raise rates.
certain pundits are saying they're going to raise rates. Alex and I are on the bandwagon that we think they are going to raise rates.
Download the allnewradio.com app and listen to 97.1 The Ticket anytime, anywhere.
97.1 The Ticket.
All right, welcome back to show 917. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Call us at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You can always shoot us an email to mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. Deal with the real professionals. We brought Charles Tamu in from Keller Williams out at Lakeside, one of the great teams out there. And, of course, Charles, one of the things I was checking out is the millennials now, 36 and below, are making up the largest portion. They're actually 66% of the buyers out there. So
However, Wikipedia that.
I have it all.
Millennium, and he got the ages. Okay,
I got it all figured out
He
here.
did his homework. Good
Charles,
job.
but definitely.
I have no complaints about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect for you. You're a young guy. You know how they go about in their process of purchasing this house, and you've got a team set up to help these folks.
Yeah, and honestly, it's 10 of us right now. We started a few years back. I started on my own, and as we started to grow, then we came up with this idea where we wanted people to remember us, and part of it was based on.
You're the first one to think of that. Congratulations.
Well, part of it was based on.
I had to tease you a little bit, Woody. That's how you know that I love you.
It's an endearing comment.
The more you tease me, the more I'll remember you, right?
Yeah. Exactly. All right.
But yeah, so we're the doctors of real estate, and we have a whole.
Is that your commercial?
That's my commercial.
Wow. See, I'm impressed. I didn't put the two and two together. All right, so I continue. I've interrupted you like 5 times. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, this is the thing. When you're doing a TV commercial, you're prepared, right?
Right.
I actually had to do a shot before I even did the commercial, so I had to take a shot, then do the commercial. But right now,
were you nervous? Like an alcohol shot? Were you nervous for a bit?
I started getting nervous when we were doing the commercial.
No, don't worry about it. It's a good commercial. I like it.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So, Charles, the new technology is definitely, one of the things that you compete with. I mean, the technology's out there. The younger group of kids are using it all. But at the end of the day, the stats, and when you talk to the younger group of buyers, they really want the knowledge, and they like that sort of that meeting of the minds where they really can gain that knowledge and confidence and move forward.
And you know what? That's the thing is we're dealing with a lot of young buyers that are coming out of college. They're super educated. They're very analytical, okay? We're living in the Detroit metro area, so it's huge on engineering, IT positions. So you got these guys that I went to school with that are buying houses, and I'm like thinking, I don't remember you being this specific in high school. But no, it's great. And one of the things is we really utilize all that. So all the applications, Realtor.com, Zillow, I mean, we have all that. We pay for all that product so that we're in front of everybody. And I pay for a lot of tools behind the scenes as well, so that we can give them the information when they're asking. And we've made a lot of, over time, done a lot of deals and made mistakes. And that's where it's important to work with somebody that really knows what they're doing. Because when you're dealing with somebody that's done a lot of transactions, believe me, they've gone through a lot of problems and they've seen it all. And it really makes a big difference when you're putting an offer in or negotiating or in the middle of the transaction, which is something that nobody ever thinks about when a problem arises, when you're dealing with somebody that's actually solved the problem before and knows what to do next.
Well, Charles, we couldn't agree more, and that's where we believe that we come in and offer our services. You can't fake it. People know when you're faking it. If you're experienced in your craft, if you're knowledgeable and you can pass on the information and you can disseminate accurate versus inaccurate information, that's what it's all about. And you've got to assemble your team. You've got a team behind you. We have teams behind us. It's a team thing. You can't walk the plank by yourself, and you've got to pass out and disseminate what information is accurate versus inaccurate. There's a lot of stuff going on out there in the market. We see it all day long. We see mass mailers, flyers. We hear advertisements. Get a 30-year fixed rate at 2.75%. Impossible. Can't be done. I don't care what anybody says.
And, you can pay 5 points.
And we see it all day long. But what you're talking about is right in our wheelhouse. That is the framework and the foundation that we're built on. You have to educate, you have to be knowledgeable, and you have to give out the proper information. Let the client make the decision for themselves. But service added value for what you're talking about, all the experience that you guys have, we're down with that. We like that.
It's a great point, Harry. And we have to remember also that everyone's on the same team. Like I'm on your team. Like we're trying.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone's trying to get the transaction closed. Nobody wants an unhappy seller, an unhappy buyer. And you mentioned, solving problems. sometimes problems come up. I have a client that she got a raise of I think like $40,000 a year mid-transaction. She quit her job. Okay, it's going to delay closing.
Yeah, there's
sorry,
a lot of
man.
things. A lot of things that can come up.
I'm sorry.
And it is a team thing. And Charles, we had a situation last week when we work with real clients, and the client was supposed to close on November 30th. Contract said November 30th. On Monday, 4 days before closing, we say that the file's going to close. We're meeting the deadline, no problem. Day before the closing, I get a call from the realtor. Are we closing tomorrow? I said, yes, we meet the deadline. We're going to close tomorrow. Get a call 2 hours later. We moved the closing back to December 6th. Why? Because the title company and the realtor...
seller's title company's not ready.
No, wait. The title company and the realtor didn't get the homeowners association information, okay, that they needed to clear something that was on the title. Okay? We're ready to go.
Yeah.
All right? We're
Absolutely.
ready. Everybody's on the same team. A little teamwork goes a long way, and it prevents things from having to move a closing back. Now, are there circumstances that a loan might take a little longer and need an addendum that says we got to push something out 2 or 3 days or a week? Of course there is, but nobody should be calling anybody up on the phone and yelling and screaming and accusing anybody of anything. We all want to achieve the same thing, Charles, and what's that?
Everybody wants to close.
Everybody wants to close, and we all want happy clients.
Just be nice.
Just be nice.
That's all it is.
We're all human, and we deal with humans.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nobody's perfect.
Just be nice. That's all you got to do.
We're taking all your calls here this morning, 248-539-9797. One of the things I want to join your conversation, guys, is the communication. I always think that my best asset is to sit down with buyers, and I've gone through this so many times that I still enjoy it. And really, the communication with the buyers and the sellers at the end of the day really prepares everyone for and gives them that confidence to move forward. It's just a big difference between the buyers I meet in person and the ones that are trying to do it over the telephone.
But that's service, Harvey. That's service in any industry. You can go on the internet, you get information, but you want to talk to somebody and you want to be serviced by that person through the transaction from start to finish. You want the one point of contact. As a consumer, I want to know who I can call, get on the phone, and who's going to take care of me. That's what it's all about. Charles, I have to ask you the question I ask every realtor when they come on the phone on the radio is property values. What are you seeing? Are you seeing coming in low, high? And what happens when an appraisal comes in low? What do you do?
Well, that's a situation. That's where negotiation comes into play. It's a tough one. If you, it's actually a stalling question too because it comes in many ways. For instance, when I'm putting an offer on a property, if I know it's not going to appraise, a lot of times I could tell if something's going to appraise. When you have that sticky situation where you say, "Gosh, this just might not appraise," I actually prepare everybody in the transaction. So I'm talking to the buyer and letting them know, look, if we put in this offer, there's a good chance you'll get the offer, but you might not appraise. And I tell we'll talk to the listing agent about it. And I have her prepare her clients. And I kind of feel them out. Hey, what's going to happen if we give you the offer, we all go forward, we pass inspection, and appraisal comes in low? Are we moving forward? Are they dropping the price? And a lot of times we'll either have them drop the price or we'll bring a little bit of money to the table to make everybody happy. I mean, it's all scenarios, but you really, really want to prepare. So if you're doing your homework before you're putting in the offer, you'll know what's going to come about.
That's it. It's educating everybody up front, and that's the answer to the question.
Answer.
There you go. Did you tell him the answer to that question?
No. That's genius, though. I wish more.
Is that right?
I like that. So he gets it. He realizes it.
Some agents that their first thing out of their mouth is, "We'll call you a lender. Call my lender.
We'll shop appraisers."
Well, yeah, we'll do another appraisal.
Well,
do that.
I'll tell you, I learned that answer from getting yelled at over the years from every side.
The mortgage people out there definitely appreciate that answer.
No, absolutely. And I'll tell you, the number one thing about real estate and any sales really, but in our field and lending and being an agent is transparency. You want to be transparent. Look, the more you're gonna, I know there's a lot of agents that are not doing many transactions a year, and if you're gonna lie or cheat or keep something from coming out just so you can get a deal done, it's not gonna go anywhere.
All right,
Got to be honest.
All right, we're up against our second break here this morning. We got tons to share with you, and all your calls 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 9:31 if you're just joining us. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Call us all weekend long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. That's 1-800-569-7283. This is different than anywhere else. You sit down with real professional mortgage bankers. We talk to you about home ownership A to Z. We know it all A to Z, and that way you can really get that confidence and knowledge behind you.
So, Harvey, last week we had Mike Tomczak from Paramount Appraisals calling. We got a lot of good calls with Mike calling in and talking about property values. I don't want to wreck the mojo on that. But this week, Harvey, could have been a first. We had 2 appraisals come in at above value.
Oh, good.
And I only had to rebut 3 this week. So the good news is it seems that, I'm going to say this, that the purchase prices, the values are catching up with the purchase prices. It's going to generally happen at this time of year because the sales that have been booked and closed from the summer, John Cole, are now being used as comps on sales right now, November and going forward, December and January. So you could see less problems, when I say problems from our standpoint, with values, okay? I don't want to wreck the mojo.
Somebody knock on some fake wood in this office.
You're going to have value problems.
I'm just being optimistic. Well, we did, and John's here. We can talk about property values. We have a purchase in Hazel Park going on right now, and Hazel Park is really, really hot right now. Okay, property sold for about 109. Appraisal came in at 85, 86.
Yeah.
Okay. And things happen because it hasn't caught up. Nope. It hasn't caught up yet. People are buying homes, they're renovating them, they're selling them, they're doing a lot of great things, and then they want to flip them. Okay.
The problem with that whole flip market and buying things and fixing them up is that these people are going to have to overpay based upon the appraised value, and that's the only way to get a market to catch up a little bit quicker, right? Otherwise, you're going to just be stagnant with what the current sales are.
Well, I was talking with Randy about that. She might be working with some buyers, and just to keep everyone's eyes open about the fact, like Randy, it sort of segues into what John's talking about, is you might be working with a $250,000 buyer, but if they spend a little bit more, maybe if they do qualify and they spend more, then they don't have to worry about redoing the kitchen because this house has already been renovated. And again, sometimes the market won't catch up with you.
Yeah, but dude, here's the thing, okay? And I'm always open about the projects I do on my house. And Colby, you just did, I think your kitchen last year. So between my patio or Colby's kitchen, do you know how much money I'm going to recoup from doing my patio?
You're going to have to live there a long time.
Next to nothing.
But you're not doing it for that reason. But when you go and buy a new home, when there's a new buyer going into a market, Hazel Park, Ferndale, Royal Oak, and the house has been renovated, they love the house. Just because they want to pay $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 for the house, it doesn't mean it's going to appraise out. All I'm saying is right now, it seems that the market has settled down a little bit. To your point, Alex, you're saying, no, it hasn't. I would agree in certain areas, like on a project that John's doing, where somebody's walking into a house that, the market in Hazel Park, they've been flipping them and they've been doing them, so they're not going to catch up so quickly.
I know, okay, all right, hear me out for a second, okay.
Sports news all day, every day. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by Warren Miller Entertainment. Red Wing hockey tonight right here on 97.1 The Ticket. Wings on the road to Montreal. Our broadcast starts at 7 p.m. Pistons at Philly tonight. That'll be at 7:30 on AM 950 WWJ. Pistons have their 3-game winning streak snapped last night at Washington, 109-91. Michigan basketball today at home against Indiana. That's a 12:30 tip-off at the Chrysler Center. Here at AM 950 WWJ, the Detroit Tigers are not tendering a contract to closer Bruce Rondon, who is now a free agent. And the Big Ten title game between Ohio State and Wisconsin will have Ohio State quarterback J.T. Barrett starting. He was banged up against Michigan. Yankees will hire a manager without any experience. He is former third baseman Aaron Boone. He's 44 years old. And Tennessee hires Philip Fulmer, a former head coach there, to be their new athletic director. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1theticket.com.
The Tigers, Red Wings, and Pistons all play here. 97.1 The Ticket.
All right, welcome back to the show, 9:31. Can't say it's the sunniest day out there, but get out there and enjoy it. Why not? The weekend is here. We got a lot of football and Michigan basketball starting here this afternoon. I think the pregame starts at 12 here on 97.1. Keep it all day
how
here.
The Spartans looking basketball.
They're going to be looking really good.
That's all I'm saying.
Along with your Wall Lake Western team, Harry. They're looking to throw you a little plug there. Hey, we take all your calls this morning. Mortgages and real estate. It's what we do. If you want to buy a house, be sure to give us a phone call at the office or here on the air, and we'll get you started the right way. Again, get that knowledge behind you, and we'll show you how to do it. 248-539-9797. Let's move off to Tony in Southfield. Good morning, Tony. Welcome to our show. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, sir.
I'm curious if you are have a belief or maybe thoughts or a concern. We sell hundreds of homes. We have a small company, and we see that buyers are only interested, virtually like 99%, or in move-in ready homes. So
right.
we have a formula. We call it dark floors, gray walls, white shaker cabinets, white countertops, and they therefore don't leave much equity. You were talking earlier about appraisal values versus when there's a home that's as is that needs some sweat equity, paint, carpet, work, maybe even some carpentry. The buyers are just not at all interested, which then makes me wonder, are we leading to a crash? Because that's the same formula we saw. We've been doing this for 50 years. It's the same formula we saw before 2006 and 7, where it was all about the finishes and how nice something was. And we see the same buyers. You were talking about the youngsters that are so educated, but we don't actually see them have much interest in the furnace, roofs, air conditioner, integrity, plumbing, or electrical. So do you concern yourself, or do you think that we maybe?
I don't see it. I don't see a crash coming like 2008. I think you're going to get to just like from like a demographic standpoint. I mean, like I do a lot like in Royal Oak, Berkeley, Birmingham, Ferndale through there. I think just demographically and just like pure economics, people in this area, and it's pure. It's a pure fact. They don't have the income to support buying a house for $550. It's just not. It just mathematically doesn't work.
I actually have a couple things to say about that. Tony, what area is he still on the line?
Yeah, Tony's there.
Tony, what area are you selling the homes in? What's the general area?
The same areas you're talking about: Berkeley, Royal Oak, Huntington Woods, Ferndale, Bloomfield, Birmingham. We don't, and I'm not sure what you're referencing the 550 or. I'm saying that we don't see any buyers that want any sweat equity. They don't want a better value. They just want the house finished and move-in ready.
Well, I don't blame them.
Yeah, but hey, Tone, my opinion is this. I think that all through time, I think that if you're buying those homes and you're fixing them up, and it all comes down to, obviously for you, how much money you're going to put in, because if you're painting and you can do it reasonably inexpensively, you're not doing major structurally changes, and you're painting and you're carpeting and doing cosmetic, and it makes it more sellable and curb appeal and aesthetically pleasing, why wouldn't you do that? So that's what I would do. B, if you're asking, if you think there's going to be a bubble and if there's a crash, listen, I'm kind of a downside risk manager. I would tell you, keep doing what you're doing. You got to watch your costs, because you make money, on how you buy a property and how much money you put into it. I'm sure you have your formula where you have your leeway of, what your margins are and what you want to get out of the house. But I would do that. We see a lack of quality homes on the market if it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye and somebody walks in and says, hey, yo, I want to buy this because it has gray carpeting instead of that lime green carpeting, or maybe the lime green carpeting's back in. I mean, that's your market. You have to decide.
No, it's not.
But I would continue to do that. I like your formula, and make it as cool looking as possible, because that's
not our formula.
No, the structural. You're the roof guy. Yeah, I like what you're saying.
My question is, why don't any of the buyers want equity? I understand that if we renovate a home, they'll jump on it.
That takes work.
But
what about people don't want to put it in?
Yeah, they don't want to do that. Now, most people don't look past the the green shag carpeting. Okay, when I buy property, that's what I look at. I know what I could do with it. People don't want to do it. They just want to move in and live.
I think it's a generational gap too, Tony. I mean, a lot of people, I'll be 39 next week. I mean, a lot of my buddies, we bought our first houses. We put in all that sweat equity. I think a lot of the younger buyers now, they don't want to do that. I mean, they're working a lot more hours, and they don't have time to do that.
Yeah, but you'll find people that want to do it.
There's many cases out there. I'll tell you, just like me and my wife are semi-looking.
You're making my point.
Well, I'll give you an example. Me and my wife are semi-looking for a house, right? We bought the first house we bought. We dumped a bunch of money into it. I did a lot of the work myself. At that time, I had the time to do it. And, now that we're looking for a second house, it's like, I kind of know what I want to buy now. And as far as equity, I'm not really so worried about equity for myself, because somebody like me, for instance, I invest my money into real estate and buying property for rentals and what have you. And a lot of these other people, not everybody wants to go into a house and dump $20,000 or $30,000 into updates.
Well, Let me jump in here with this a little bit. First of all, we take all your calls, 248-539-9797. Good stuff, Tony. You make me think about the renovation loans that we offer. So there are FHA 203K loans. There are these conventional loans that allow you to do renovation loans.
Yeah, but okay, wait.
At the end of the day, we need the real estate agents to get them hooked up to call Capital Mortgage Funding. And again, let us educate you and give you some options, because there are options out there. Who doesn't want to move into a house that has all the gorgeous cabinets?
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, I'd rather have a solid foundation and the good stuff, the solid
Tony
roof.
made a great point. You want that equity, but I mean, listen, man. I mean, any married couple out there, you guys ever redone a kitchen? I mean, it's a mess. It's a little. I mean, you want to talk? You could never argue in 15 years of marriage, you'd redo a kitchen or a bathroom or something. There's going to be a little bit of stress in the relationship.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and not only, I'll tell you, if you're thinking about doing a renovation, or if you're thinking about buying a home or investing into a property. And look, every market's different. The market that Tony is operating in, it's a very cutthroat market. There's a lot of offers on the properties. They go really, really fast. And you got people that have a lot of money that they're spending down there. A lot of those properties sell for cash.
Yeah.
Even in the $200,000 to $300,000 price range. So look, here's a situation. If you're thinking about buying a home, if it's something that's on your mind and you're considering it, the first thing is to pick up the phone and dial us. It doesn't take long to explain to you what's going on. If you tell us the area that you're looking to move in, we'll give you your options. And that's what it is. We'll sit down with you and we'll talk to you and get you a lender, and we'll give you your options. So we'll show you the homes that you can put some equity into. And
you get a lot of the the fill-in building too. Where you're knocking down those houses that are they're a little dilapidated. Oh, hi, Bobby. Good morning. You're dilapidated, they're falling apart, and you're getting the new construction houses with all the fancy cabinets and all that stuff, and that's fine. You move right in and you're good to go.
All right, a couple things to throw out there in the mortgage world. 248-539-9797. If you're just joining us, of course, Harry, we're all excited. Did we get a raise in the mortgage world? Maybe.
We did.
Yeah. The conforming loan limits have been now increased from $424,100 to $453,100.
What about FHA?
They are going to make those changes. They will be later this month. You'll probably hear about them in the next couple of weeks.
So, Harvey, what does that mean to the consumer?
Well, it means to the consumer, you might have a situation where you did pay a higher rate on a $450,000 loan. You might have bought it last year or the year before that, and now maybe take a look at refinancing. You might be able to obtain a lower interest rate, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why. Many clients also have done the combo loans where they've got a first and a second mortgage, and again, consolidating those two and now having an opportunity to get a conforming interest rate should save you a lot of money. So there's great opportunities out there. Again, loan limits have increased across the United States. Conventionally, and FHA will follow next week. Also, always want to throw all the programs out there, because FHA, again, with 3.5% down and allowable seller's concessions at 6%, it's absolutely a great way for clients out there who have a little bit lower credit scores, a little bit lower income that they're working with, to get into their first house. And of course, USDA loans are unbelievably great. Why? There are income limits up to about $88,000 for most families, but you can purchase zero down. So with all the great opportunities out there, conventionally, FHA and VA, make sure you give us a phone call. We'll get you started.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over that a little bit. It means you can go $453,100 as a maximum loan amount to be on programs, a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac program where you could put 3% down, a Fannie 97. It allows somebody to go ahead and borrow a little bit more and receive, with good credit, with proper income, the lowest rate possible. So that's what that means. So that's why we get excited when Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac raise their limit to now $453,100.
It's been fantastic. Also, on the refinance side of things, a lot of folks got their tax bills yesterday. I know we had one show up to the house. So, again, the winter tax bills came out across Southeast Michigan
These are
yesterday.
Small ones, though. They usually last the winter ones.
Yeah, usually in most. Yeah, I don't even know which city actually has, but there are a few cities that actually have the winter tax. Might be a little bit more than their summer tax bill. But on the other hand, if you're sort of struggling and coming up with that money to pay your winter tax bill, give us a call, Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll show you how to get it done. You can consolidate your debt and refinance your loan and drop that term. When we come back, all of your calls, keep it here, 248-539-9797.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Well, welcome back to the show, 9:18. If you're just joining us, I can't say it's a gorgeous Michigan day out there, but it's a wonderful day. How's that? November 18th.
Well, you could say it wouldn't be accurate, but you could say whatever you want.
You know, here, I'm glad you started off. We got Thanksgiving week coming up, of course, next week, and a happy, healthy one to all your families out there and friends, and be safe. And
well, I'm thankful, Harvey. You know, every day you wake up and you're thankful for a lot of things. You're thankful to wake up, and B, I'm thankful to work with the people that I have to work with every day and see all you guys. And I really mean that. I just don't say that. I enjoy being with people, talking to people, hanging out with people, and helping people. And I think that's the main thing that we do. So Thanksgiving just brings it, between Thanksgiving, Christmas, the New Year, it brings it all into perspective. You're going to hang out with your family, you're going to hang out with the people at work, but we can't forget that there are things that we have to get done for people, right? Sellers still want to sell houses, buyers want to buy houses, and our clients want to move into those houses. And guess what? They want to entertain in their new house during the holidays.
Yeah, do you have time to do it?
So we have to. It's incumbent upon us to make sure that those things happen. Yes. We have to make that happen. I know Dan likes to hear that, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and sometimes your buyers, your clients can be their own worst enemy. And sometimes you have to give them a little kick in the butt and show them that you can't come in 10% light on this home right now. It's going to be a waste of everyone's time. If you really want this house, put the effort forth, and I'm telling you what everyone else is buying. Everyone's getting 100%, 98%, 90%. Why would they accept 90 or 88% of the offer?
Yeah.
And I've done that, and people, hem and haw, and they do it, and then after the fact, they'll say thanks for kicking me in the butt and doing that, because what's going to happen? Interest rates might go up. Homes are appreciating.
Rates are going to go up.
So the fact that you wait, it's just going to hurt you in the long run.
So John and Harvey, what we say to people, I know John's had this to happen to him several times, so have I and Harvey over our careers. During the holiday times, people like to go out and they, first of all, they go ahead and they apply for a mortgage. They found a home. Now it's the holiday time, so what do? They go out and they start buying gifts. Right? They start running up their charge cards. They might want to go buy the furniture special. They want to go lease a new car. Everything's happening because it's such a great time of year. And then sometimes it jeopardizes their mortgage approval, John.
Oh, yeah. I mean, too many times we've seen that people's credit cards have inflated since application. And unfortunately, we have to run inquiries through the process of getting your mortgage to see what your balances are, because that's just the new guidelines, and it's hard.
We're going to take a call here. Let's go out to Ron out in Ortonville. Ron, thanks for calling the show, and welcome. Go ahead. Alrighty, welcome back to show 946. Good morning if you're just listening. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're coming up on our 18th season here, live on 97.1 The Ticket. Appreciate all the calls. 248-539-9797. Charles Tamu from Keller Williams Lakeside. Charles,
appreciate it, guys.
Real estate doctor.
Hey, you're awesome, dude, and I know you got a great team out there. And why not? If you're interested in purchasing a house, give us a call at Capital. Get that approval letter. We'll set you up with these great real estate agents like Charles and his team, and we got a whole bunch of people that we deal with personally. And I'll tell you, there's a big difference when you're dealing with the pros out there. Let's try Keith, and we'll go back after Keith, and we'll talk about some other things. Having issues looking to buy a house, Keith. Go ahead. What's going on?
Yes. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, Keith.
It's a situation. I used to be in the mortgage industry a long time, got out of it about 10 years ago, and I know that the guidelines have changed a lot since then. The issue is my fiance and we are looking to purchase a home. She was working part-time to where her income was not qualifying her to purchase a home. Her credit scores are 7.5 plus.
Okay.
We have seasoned funds. We have all that. The problem is I was going to be helping her, but they won't even look at me because I'm not even related to her. I'm not anything. My credit score's up there, but they wouldn't let me be on the mortgage at all to make the income.
Why?
More
Yeah, what was the reason behind that? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, what's
because I'm self-employed.
So
And,
what?
I've been self-employed for a year now, and they tell me I need 2 years of self-employment history, and they wouldn't even look at me.
That's not. There's situations where you don't
program
need.
you can-
Yeah, there's
Do you have
programs
a-
where you just in 1 year. What are you doing for self-employment?
I own a home improvement company.
Okay, do you have 1 year of filed tax returns?
That will be done this year. I've been in business now a little over a year, and that's being handled through the CPAs right now.
And are you claiming all the income that you actually make?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it shouldn't totally be an
You
issue.
actually might be able to be a cosigner after you file your tax
Well,
returns
they'll
this
buy
year.
it together. He's not going to co-sign for
No,
it.
I
He's
mean,
buy it
oh,
together.
yeah, buy it together. Yeah, well,
Well,
we can co-sign it.
we were told that with me not being married to her, me not being, they threw the co-signer stuff out there as far as, well, have her father co-sign. Well, her father died. Have her mother co-sign. Going down the list of relatives, and they would not even, which I thought was very ironic because me knowing the industry somewhat now, I thought, this is crazy. I understand that I could do,
That's
if I needed to.
It's
throw a
100%
gift
false
letter in
that
there,
you couldn't
give her-
buy a house together. If I wanted to buy a house with Harry right now, we could do it together.
It just upsets me because here we are, we got two qualified people, and
Well, kind of.
Well, why don't you let us call you after the show? Let's get your information. We'll take a look at it. We'll run it through our AUS system. We'll show it to our underwriters. We'll get some documentation, and we'll see what happens.
Hey,
and by the way, we
he
don't
hung
take
up. He hung up.
we don't take any money.
Yeah, it's all free. And, of course, next time you decide you want to buy a house, be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. You're going to deal with real mortgage professionals and get the real approval and the real answers that you need. And, again, just listening to that question, it's what we deal with every day at the office is sometimes people just didn't call the right place. It's as simple as that.
Keith, I got the doctor here. I'm going to diagnose your problem.
Yeah,
for
you will. You will, definitely. But the key is obviously...
I think it was a mortgage problem.
Oh, that's okay.
That's okay. We'll fix them up and get them that approval letter and send them your way. A lot of cool things that you guys do, and we talked about a couple things. When we were talking on the phone, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, you mentioned, hey, Harvey, I had so many listing appointments that week. And you were actually telling me that you're so busy because a lack of professionalism with some of the folks in that industry.
It's unfortunate, and it's fortunate for us. Okay, so here's the situation. The unfortunate part is there's a lot of people doing out there. Look, it's not hard to get a real estate license. The test is a little tough, but it's not brain science, right? But being professional is.
Or brain surgery. But
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's either rocket science or brain surgery. Mixing his metaphors. I like it, though.
But I like what you said. You said, but dealing with a professional is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, to find somebody full-time that's willing to spend their whole life basically learning and achieving in real estate, and that's a little bit hard to find. And that's why there's so few people that do it. There's a lot of good agents out there. I mean, make sure you're doing your homework, you're looking them up, checking out their reviews, because really it's going to make a difference.
Yeah. And why not even meet them and sit down with them and find out how they go about things?
So basically, we're getting busy because a lot of our clients are coming from other agents, and it's simple stuff. I mean, this is not hard stuff to solve. It's just that they didn't know how to look at it.
They might not even return a phone call, maybe.
That's one of them.
That's
one of them, or they didn't check the data. I think one of the biggest things is a lot of agents are scared of their clients. They're scared of being fired. Maybe they're not doing as many deals, so they're a little bit more sensitive about it. I think being upfront, right in the beginning, establishes a better relationship.
But as a client, too, though, you need to look in the mirror and understand also, here, if you got a 780 credit score and you're putting down 20%, that's an easy deal. I think it's funny, because we get reviewed all the time, and I think there's a direct correlation between people's credit scores,
absolutely,
and paying their bills,
yeah, and how I'm rated. So like if someone gives me a bad review,
Right. Well,
It's like I had to go to I went to bat for you to get you a house, and it was to get you a house, and it was like screw you for closing my loan and give me a house. It is. That's how it comes down.
Well, listen,
You can't make everybody happy.
Well, no, you try, though. You can't make 100% of the people 100% happy 100% of the time. Now, you got to try. You got to work at it. But there are certain people that just, no matter how you bend over backwards, they're never going to be happy. To me, that's on them. However, you got to keep trying. You wake up every day, and you got to try to get better every single day. We're not perfect. We're all human beings. And if you sit down with people face-to-face, talk to them eye to eye, let's have a conversation. I'm ready to go.
I like that way. 248-539-9790. So we got a few minutes left if you want to join the show. Again, new buyers enjoy the sense of home accomplishment, home ownership pride. It's just an awesome way to go. And, of course, we've seen rents just continuously climb here in the 5 counties that are generally listening to this listening audience here. And, again, if you're out there and you've been renting for a while, if you've got stable employment and you've got, definitely a few of ideas in your head that you think you can handle home ownership, because there's a lot involved in home ownership, then you definitely want to give us a phone call and learn more about it. And then we can set you up with great real estate agents like I spoke before. And that's the key, is really just find out where you stand. If you're going to be living in Michigan, why not find out if you could become a homeowner? And again, things have been great here. The weather's been on the mild side. And I guess we always talk about the great things that our area has to offer with all of our great schools. That's the thing about Southeast Michigan and really the entire state, is we're known for having a great education system here, and our public school systems are still very, very strong. Not to mention, of course, the private schools have many to choose from. But
quality of life, taxes are relatively low.
Yep, taxes are very low, and if you want to find that across the United States, and if you checked it out, you'll find out it's very affordable. With it.
Harry, you had a great point too, man. Where you said, we don't charge anything up front. The gentleman that called and said, was that an issue buying the house? There's no retainer. I mean, we'll speak to you and run your credit, look at the income and all that, and it's a very simple process.
Yeah, we will not take your money unless we think we can do a loan for you. So we don't grab your credit card up front and say, hey, before we do anything, give us a deposit. We don't do that. That's not how we operate. We never have. We never will. We want to help you be successful, and we believe that our service, knowledge, and industry experience will win us.
Oh, yeah. We're always here to answer questions.
It'll break all ties.
All righty. Hey, jumbo loans also, again, we mentioned that earlier today, that the loan limits for conventional loans has increased, but jumbo loans are really treated the same way. And again, there's such great opportunities out there. You can put down as little. Yeah, Alex, you said we had a 5% down program. I haven't had a client in that price range putting that little down. But again, 10% down.
Well, it's not cheap. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you get jumbo loan 5% down. I mean, we have that product out there, but it's not.
Rate's going to be a little higher.
Not the cheapest way to go.
Okay. But most of the clients, again, with opportunities to put just 10% down, there's no private mortgage insurance, and a lot of great ways to save money. Charles, that music says that we're up against the end of the show.
December 2nd.
I wish I could be here all day.
It is December 2nd. Wish my son Eric Lanza happy birthday. He's 26 today. Not bad, huh?
Wow. Eric's old.
One of my greatest accomplishments.
Hey, we want to thank Charles Taylor for coming in. Hey, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Doctors of Real Estate, 855-4-DOCTOR-SOLD.
Oh, I like that. There's a lot to know. Or call us at Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll set you up with Charles and all his great staff. And again, so many opportunities out there. Keep it here on 97.1 for Alex Nafusi. Charles Lutz for joining us. Thanks a lot. I'm sorry, James Lutz. And Harry Glanz. I'm Harvey Freed.
Or James Lutz.
Or James Lutz. We'll catch you here next Saturday.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.